okay, well, like, why do I want to work with Julia? What does a CheerBod challenge have to offer me? And first of all, I always tell my clients, you want to work with someone that you actually want to look like, right? And so when you think of cheerleaders, when you think of the CheerBod challenge, you want to look like the person that you're going to train with, because ultimately this is how your body is going to look.
Hello and welcome. I am Coach Castle, a certified biomechanics expert, nutritionist, and efficiency coach. Subscribe to this channel to learn the most efficient ways to maximize your muscle growth and recovery, enhance your body, and advance your mind, all using the latest science. Welcome to Castle's Corner.
Aspects, like that is what my mission is, and that is where I'm seeing this CheerBod challenge go in the future.
I gotta say, I love it. I'm a huge one with home workouts. The reason for that is my whole life I've had a home gym. I never thought it was strange. I mean, I'm a very isolated person, though, so I just assumed everyone had one. So I think home workouts are normal for me. So many people seem to be under the misguided information. You need a trainer, you need a gym, you need all this stuff. You don't. Most of my clients, they train at home, and here's how they do it. They get a Bowflex chin-up bar or a screw-in bar for the doorway. They put it over the doorway. They get two little pulleys on Velcro straps, two cables, and they have a pulley system for all upper, middle, and lower body. Pair of dumbbells. They're covered for everything. If you want to get fancy, you buy a monkey foot, and then your whole lower body is covered. But all of this is less than $100. And as you said, with your workouts, I mean, it's probably different with my clients, but they do very high intensity workouts at their house. Their workouts are usually 20, 25 minutes. It's every day of the week, by the way, because I prefer, as do most of my clients, doing a little something every single day. But the workouts, there's no reason to be long. There's no reason for them to be hard. And I think, I mean, from a guy's perspective, I fully support the CheerBod, just because who doesn't want their wife getting sexier, dancing around in a cheerleader uniform in the house? I mean, where's the lose here? Well, I fully support this, people. If you're a husband, get your wife doing this. Sounds awesome.
Yeah, I think you're bringing up a great point, Castle. Like, especially in terms of working out. Now, all of my workouts are body weight. Actually, they're all body weight. This 12-week CheerBod challenge program that I've done, and I've seen body transformation, it's all body weight. So honestly, all my CheerBod ladies just need a yoga mat, a water bottle to use as like a little bit of weight right here and there, but all of it is high intensity. If you think about the aspect like of cheerleading, and this is where it really hit me too, is because anytime that we were doing performances in cheer, we were only going like super hard for about 28, 30 minutes. Is where we were really seeing like doing these aerobic kind of hit movements to get our workout in. Now, even though we'd be at practice for about an hour and a half to 2 hours, we weren't working that whole time, especially like any sort of sport, right? Or if you're going to the gym for like an hour and a half, right? You're there, you're maybe getting a water break in between, you're maybe walking to the next movement. Same with the sport. You're maybe taking a break, talking with the coach, talking with your team. You're there for like that point of time, an hour and a half to 2 hours, but you're really going only super intense for that 28 minutes or certain point of time that you're going through. So that's why this works, is because when you're getting in your workouts in less than 28 minutes and you're going very, intensely with these movements a couple times a week, that's where you're actually seeing results. So it's not really about the point of time that you're actually at a certain place dedicating a workout. It's about how much you're being able to get in and working your body right in order to see those results.
I should step in here for a second and just say, I mean, I don't know if you get this question. It's something I get a lot is, I guess since COVID, people always want to know body weight exercises. Here's some of the questions I get. Body weight exercises, are they as good as weights? What's better, weights or machines or body weight or calisthenics? I think it's just misunderstood. That doesn't matter. Weight is weight. So what you're worried about here, just for anybody who's not sure about body weight being good training or anything like that, when it comes to body weight, you're simply literally using your body as the weight. So depending on what position that you're putting your body in, it depends on how much load the targeted muscle is getting. So I suppose an example you probably have your girls do is probably crunches, right? I assume. So,
Yeah.
so if they're doing crunches on the floor, this is what's happening. Your abdominals are being contracted by basically bringing your lower rib cage towards your pelvis. That's really their only job, is to bring your lower rib cage towards your pelvis. Now they do this by curling your spine. Like there's a reason when you do crunches, you should never do them with your legs straight. It's because it puts a curl in your spine this way. So in order to initiate the movement, you have to use momentum and grate your spine against itself to actually start the movement. So you start with the bent knees to do it, by the way, so your spine is flat. But anyways, all you're doing when you do a crunch is you're basically just raising and bringing your rib cage to your pelvis. But by doing that, it is actually the most effective movement for your abdominals. You can make it easier by doing it at an inclined angle. So your torso would be up here, your legs would be bent down here. That would make it easier. Now, the reason for that is you're just lightening the load. So the weight in this particular case is all of your body weight above your lower ribs. Everything above your lower ribs is now weight. And that is the weight that you're actually moving. So if you're a tiny little skinny girl, it's probably 50 pounds. If you're a big fat guy, it could be up to 100 pounds. But that needs to be taken into account when you're doing the movement. If you have 100 pounds to move and you're out of shape, you will not be able to do a proper flat crunch. It's going to be too heavy for you. You'll need to do an inclined variety. Just to clear that up, sorry.
Yeah, exactly. And I love that thought too. I feel like there's certain aspects that people, that people look for when it comes to either weight loss or training or joining some sort of a challenge, right? A lot of people that I work with kind of look at the overall, okay, well, like, why do I want to work with Julia? What does the CheerBod Challenge have to offer me? And first of all, I always tell my clients, you want to work with someone that you actually want to look like, right? And so when you think of cheerleaders, when you think of the CheerBod Challenge, you want to look like the person that you're going to train with, because ultimately this is how your body is going to look. So when you think about cheerleaders, oftentimes you see that they have very strong legs, that they have a ripped six pack, that they have just overall proportion size body. Whereas, you look at some other sports and they're built very differently, or they look at bodybuilding, for example. So that's something that people take into account. Now, because of cheerleading, a lot of it is very body weight based, right? Where we are lifting up your own body weight, you are sometimes lifting up people, but a lot of it stems from like their strong core muscles, your strong leg muscles that you need in order to be able to do these movements, which is why we focus more on like the HIIT type of exercises, or like the fun cheerleading dance movements as well, like sharp motions to be able to target just like building those sharp areas of your body when it comes to cheerleading. So I would say I guess it's not really about, to go back to your original question, it's not really about, okay, what's better, lifting weights or doing body exercises? It's really about, well, who do you want to look like? What do you exactly want to do? And that's where that kind of comes into play, I feel like.
Well, I would say not even quite to that. Perhaps the point I was making wasn't clear, but just to clarify though, but the point I was making actually is that weight is weight. So for example, if I go to the gym and I pick up, what was the example I gave was crunches? Okay, so if I go to the gym and I'm doing a seated ab cable crunch, basically my back will be against the bench and I'll be holding a cable here and crunching forward. That is an identical movement to me doing a floor crunch. There is no difference. The only difference is the resistance is now weight that I have on a stack, and it's originating on the top of my head. That's the only difference in this particular movement. The weight of my torso does not come into play because I'm sitting upright or neutral with gravity. Therefore, my torso weight is taken out of the equation. The weight is the weight stack. When my torso is on the ground and there is no additional machine or anything else, all of the weight is due to my torso being perpendicular, with gravity, which is why it's a maximal lever, which is why the weight is being loaded onto the abdomen. So it doesn't matter if it's a dumbbell, a cable, a machine, or body weight, as long as you understand the target muscle you're trying to achieve and the exercise itself is within a rip range you can manage, it doesn't matter what you're using. My clients use cinder blocks and sticks. They can use water bottles full of water, buckets full of sand. You don't have to have fancy equipment. Weight is weight. Body weight is just as effective as anything else. I would say when it comes to cheerleading, body weight movement is probably a very productive because they're also anti-rotational, and you need that a lot with, I mean, your core, so I should be specific. Your core needs to be
Yeah.
able to handle a lot of anti-rotational forces, as well as you have to be very efficient at bracing yourself to support the people on top of you, as well as taking into account the momentum and explosiveness necessary to start the movement, and then holding yourself in a stable position. So all those things are very important with body weight and calisthenic style movements. Not so important, say, if you're a power lifter squatting and deadlift, you don't give a damn about those things, you know?
Exactly. No, you definitely make a great point there.